Thank you to LMNT for sponsoring today's video. More on them later. I'm sharing 4 budget-friendly vegetarian recipes in today's video. Hello everyone, Jennifer L. Scott here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. So today I'm going to be sharing 4 budget-friendly vegetarian recipes with you. And this was inspired by the fact that food prices keep soaring. With inflation, the place that I'm seeing it the most is in my grocery bill. And I don't know if it's like that where you are, but let us know in the comment section down below. So today I am sharing 4 healthy, budget-friendly vegetarian recipes. Now I'm not a vegetarian, but I do like to eat vegetarian a few times a week because meat is one of the places where I see the rising costs the most. And it's always good to explore alternative protein sources anyway. So with that in mind, today, here's what I'm making. We're having stuffed portobello mushrooms, sweet potato nachos with a sour cream herb sauce, a savory Brussels sprout soup, and I know that might sound gross to a lot of people who don't like Brussels sprouts, but trust me, you're going to like this. And then for dessert, we're having simple baked apples. Okay, so follow me into the kitchen and let's get cooking. Let's begin with the lentil stuffed portobello mushrooms. I take 4 large washed portobello mushroom caps, cut off the stems, and I save those for later, by the way. And then I drizzle them with some avocado oil, and I add a pat of butter to each. I picked up some herbs from the garden and I chopped those and placed them on top. I'm using scallions, lemon thyme, and parsley, but you can use whatever combination of herbs you like. I sprinkle salt and freshly cracked pepper, and then these are going to go into the oven for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, I've been making the filling. On the stove, I made some tricolor couscous and yellow lentils with garlic. I combine those in a bowl and I top them with panko breadcrumbs, and then I add some Parmesan cheese. Also the mushroom stalks that I cut up earlier. I add some melted butter as well and Italian herb seasoning. Then I season it with salt and pepper to taste. This would be even easier using leftover lentils or couscous, anything that you've already made so that you don't need to cook too much on the day of. And you can also substitute any bean or grain here that you like. And now I'm going to take the mushrooms out of the oven and fill them with this lentil stuffing. Put them back in the oven for another 10 to 15 minutes. By the way, I'm laughing because the whole time I'm cooking, Mr. Squirrel was trying to get in the house. I think he wants some of these mushrooms. This would be delicious with a side salad. I didn't have time for that today, so I'm serving it with a buttered tortilla, and I'll show you how I make those a bit later. But these mushrooms are delicious. They are hearty, and they have that delightful umami flavor that I love so much. They're also highly customizable with the bean filling, and very affordable, so I hope that you enjoy this recipe. Next, I'm making some sweet potato nachos with black beans and an herbed sour cream sauce. I've made veggie nachos before on the channel, but this recipe is greatly simplified to accommodate for tighter budgets. Starting the night before, I rinse and I sort 1 cup of dry black beans and then place them in a bowl with about 2 inches of water on top. The bowl was a bit small, so I ended up transferring this to a bigger one. Then I leave these covered overnight. The next day, I begin by peeling and chopping up 5 sweet potatoes into thick fry shapes. Then I mix those with olive oil, salt, and pepper. And I roasted them for quite a while because I like when they get caramelized. But I believe I did about 50 minutes at 350 degrees. Meanwhile, I cook the beans. I drain and rinse them one more time, and then I add them to a large pot with about 2 inches of water over them. I like to put in kombu seaweed because it helps flavor the beans and aids digestion, but if you don't have this, that's totally fine. I let this come to a boil and then cook them on a simmer for about 30 minutes. While the beans are cooking, I'm going to make the herbed sour cream. I picked a large handful of herbs from the garden. This time I picked parsley, dill, scallions, and probably cilantro too. In a blender, I add 1 cup of sour cream, a whole avocado, the juice from half a lemon, and all the fresh herbs. You don't even need to chop them because they're going in the blender. And then salt and pepper. I blend this together and wow, this is so good. You can use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream or a vegan yogurt if you like. The beans are looking finished and the fries are ready. I drained the beans because I don't want any of the liquid going on the nachos, and also I salted them as well at this point. And now it's time to plate. So I place down the sweet potato fries, top them with black beans, and put some sliced avocado on the side and a dollop of the herbed sour cream. And then some cilantro on top for garnish. This is chef's kiss perfection. The sweet potatoes have a sweet caramelized finish to them, juxtaposed with the saltiness of the beans and the creamy herbed sour cream. They're just delicious. I hope that you're enjoying the recipes so far. I want to take a minute and thank LMNT who have kindly sponsored today's video. So LMNT is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing you don't. That means lots of salt with no sugar. It contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Electrolytes are important to me because I do intermittent fasting, so I'm always thinking about replenishing my electrolytes in a safe way. I love their flavors. They have everything from citrus salt, raspberry salt, watermelon salt. They have chocolate as well, and one of my favorites, chocolate caramel, which you can have with hot water. It's so good. And of course, they also have unflavored too. Right now, LMNT is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single-serving packets free with any LMNT order. This is a great way to try out all flavors or share LMNT with a salty friend. So get yours at drinklmnt.com/dailyc. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/dailyc. And thank you to LMNT for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to the recipes. Now let's make a savory Brussels sprout soup. It's so good. Trust me on this one. I begin by caramelizing some onions. I chop 2 large onions and cook them in extra virgin olive oil on medium to low heat for about 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. I got deterred with other things and I burnt the onions a bit, but it still turned out really good. So to the pot now, I add about a pound of Brussels sprouts. They are washed, trimmed, and cut in half. And then I add about 4 cups of veggie broth and some salt and pepper. And I let this cook for about 20 more minutes. I let the soup cool for a while and then I add it to my blender. But if you have an immersion blender, you could also use that too. That would actually be easier. You do have to blend this soup, otherwise it's just not very pleasant with the texture of all the Brussels sprouts. I'm going to show you how I make my buttered tortillas. I feel like tortillas are a great option for these budget meals because they keep for a long time in the fridge and they're very filling. I like to buy raw tortillas, so to fry them up, I put a bit of oil in my frying pan and cook them until they're dark and toasted. Then I'll fold them in fourths and put a pat of butter inside. The kids go crazy for these, by the way, and they're great with soup. So let's plate up the soup. I would normally add plain sour cream or yogurt, but I still have some of that herbed sour cream from the Nachos, so I used that to top the soup, and it was perfect. It adds an extra layer of herbs that is truly delightful. I also topped this with some dill and served the soup with a buttered tortilla. This soup is delicious and really easy to make. I do hope that you'll try it. And finally, let's wash this all down with a simple, budget-friendly dessert, baked apples. I'll just demonstrate with 2 apples for today's video. But I take 2 large apples and I core them. I'll spare you my coring skills because I don't know where my apple corer is, so it gets a bit messy. But once I core the apples, I make an easy filling of about 1 cup of old-fashioned oats, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, some cinnamon, and I also like to add some flax seeds, but you don't have to do that if you don't have them. I stuff the apples with this filling and then I top them with a few pats of butter. I let the filling go all over the sides and top that with butter too. I bake these in the oven for about 35 minutes. When they're ready, I love to serve these with vanilla ice cream. If your apples are large, you can split them, so this would feed 4 people, or you can eat the whole thing by yourself. But I love this delicious, budget-friendly recipe. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that it gave you some cooking inspiration for how you can prepare budget-friendly, healthy meals in your own home. I'd like to thank LMNT for sponsoring this video. When you use my link, drinklmnt.com/dailyc, you can get a free sample pack with any order. That's drinklmnt.com/dailyc. Thanks for watching today, everyone. Keep calm and remain classy, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.